Hey guys, got some more invasions for you today, and I forget who it was in the comments. I apologize, but somebody pointed out I was using the Carthus Greatsword, and they pointed out that the Murakumo had a bit more AR. I think 20 to 30 points of AR. So I went back and upgraded it, and sure enough, it does hit a bit harder. Now, I actually end up giving up the bleed that's innate to the Carthus Greatsword, but I don't think I proc bleed a single time using that weapon. So I didn't mind switching it out. I also pick up a half extra pound, but it's definitely worth it. So thank you to whoever suggested that. So I invade this guy, Zexum12, or however you pronounce his name. And this area, I'm sure anybody who's invaded here already knows full well. It's super frustrating because it always spawns you way the hell down here, and you got to run up and you find a lot of people to bonfire. And surprisingly, in this area, I found tons of people who are AFK, and I'm wondering if maybe they don't understand how the bosses work here in terms of your invadability. But I do not like just rolling up on people if they're AFK or they don't see me coming and just start blasting them. So I'll usually try to get their attention first. But before I really can do that, obviously the police show up. I'm obviously trying to keep an eye on this guy and make sure he's not going to gank me. So what comes here, I think, represents some of the worst play of my life. And I think this blue is really laggy because I had a lot of trouble hitting him. And you'll see here in just a moment, it's kind of weird. Like the startup, like on his animations, and there I expected to trade and not just get hit. And there I make a stupid mistake of healing twice. Shouldn't have done that. But I cannot hit this guy for the life of me, and he's absolutely annihilating me with this weapon. Tell you, man, this changed. And see there, right out of the stun, he immediately attacks me with like no delay. And here I'm running and I don't see even anybody behind me. So that was just weird. I don't know if it was lag or what was going on, but that was super frustrating to lose that invasion. But fortunately, a bit later, I re-invade this exact same guy. I think this was probably only about 20 minutes later. And so I realized he must be using dried fingers. Like there's no other explanation for this unless there were more phantoms, and there aren't. So this time, sorry dude, I normally wouldn't do this, but I felt like I had license given my previous experience invading this guy. I felt like I had to go take a shower after that though. This is another crew that I had actually invaded earlier. They ganked me, and then I got a full round of point downs. What I found is if I lose to a particular crew and I re-invade them, I usually do a lot better. And the conclusion I've drawn from that is that I'm not focusing enough when I invade. I know I've heard Saint talk about this, and I've also heard Schwa talk about this, but just kind of going into routine invasion mode, you're so used to hosts that aren't very good or phantoms that aren't very good, you just kind of put it in cruise control and you end up doing stupid things. But if you really buckle down and you really focus and try to make smart decisions, your success rate really improves. At least mine does. So I hate this area because you cannot look above you very well. I know they're up above me. The risk of a plunging attack is really high. The smarter thing to do would have probably been to just try to wait them out down below. But I don't really like doing that. I personally, I get impatient. I got to worry about more blues coming in. So I decide to take a chance and come up here. And here, I should not be using the curved sword with these walls that are so close. I should have probably switched to my straight sword and used poking attacks. Obviously, I'm fighting the camera. I'm fighting my weapon here. And I remember at the time that this invasion was taking place, I was certainly cognizant of the problem with this weapon on the stairs, but I guess with both of these guys and the extra damage from this thing, I just wanted to use it. And somebody in one of my videos, and again, I don't remember who, made the point that I should consider swinging this weapon 3 times because you get a lot of roll catches with it. And I'm not doing that. I really need to start trying to do that. And here now I'm in a bit of trouble. You know, anytime you're trying to roll around and I know they're going to try to plunge me here. Anytime you've got people swinging like 2 fast weapons like that, like katanas and straight swords, it is very, very difficult to attack them, especially if they stay right with one another. You can't roll, like one of them is going to catch your roll. It's almost inevitable. So this is the prime offender of the point downs before, although some of the other phantoms had gotten in on the action. I get pointing down, I get the whole taunt or, you know, whatever people are thinking normally when they do it, but I can't understand it when you gank me with 2 of your friends. You obviously have not accomplished anything impressive that 3 people can beat 1 person. I mean, when I see that, I just instantly conclude that they must be garbage players, because only a garbage player would feel so proud that they were able to beat a single invader with the 3 of them. And you know, when you're trying to chase people down like this, one thing that I always try to do is try to, when I'm running up behind them, if they start chugging, stop running so I can actually get 2 R1s on them for sure. And this guy completely surprises me by attacking on wake up. Actually, it was probably a pretty smart move. But when I'm chasing somebody, I try to stop running when they chug so that I can hit them with 2 R1s rather than just a single one running R1. But it's not always very easy to do. And here I beat that guy in with the Estus. I couldn't believe he fell for that. There he tries to attack again on wake up. I should have probably tried to parry him instead. Thought maybe I'd be able to get him in stun lock with the dagger though. And here he just gives up. I make the mistake of waving at this guy, and then I remember what he did, and so now he has to pay for his crimes. Take that point down. So this I kept in because this was kind of funny, kind of sad too. So another guy I find at the bonfire. Of course, I don't want to start wailing on him right away. You'll notice this is a theme. I'm constantly punished for my kindness rather than just immediately attacking people. And I'm an invader. Like, I absolutely should do that, and I should feel really entitled to do that. Like, I'm letting the guy buff. I shouldn't be doing any of this. But against a single host, just most of the time I end up feeling guilty about it. Like, it's not fun, and it just feels bad. So this guy gets his guard broken by blocking a single running R1 off of this thing, and then a single Hornet Ring riposte kills him. I cannot imagine how low his stamina and his vigor must have been. Like, I don't know if the guy even ever upgraded. I'd never seen that before, and that's why I kept it in here. So again, talking about this kindness, I spawn in and I see the guy's got the insects around him. I don't start swinging on him, and I see him run up here. I think to myself, okay, you know, I'll indulge you. I'll go ahead and come up here rather than just trying to gank you with the PvE right here. And gets me with a cheeky plunging attack. So I'm thinking about dropping down, but I said, oh, let me just go up and heal up. And now I'm in big trouble, and I don't know how that second Chaos Bed Vestiges managed to miss me. I should be dead at this point. I got really, really lucky. At this point now I'm just kind of feeling stupid. And so I'm trying different tactics on wake up here, and rather than trying to swing a big curved sword, I just take out my straight sword and wait for him to roll and then catch the roll, and that seems like a pretty good approach. Doing things like charged R2s and whatnot, they always leave you vulnerable to getting parried. You gotta be careful with those. So obviously as soon as I see that all come crashing down, I know exactly where the host is here. And I see what appears to be a lone host. And there I really should have swung a third time. Bad on me for not swinging. This always makes me nervous. Great shields, because they can get just right in your face. And this blue must have set a frickin' world record for speed to engagement, because the icon had just only been up for about a second and a half and he's already swinging on me. So now my position's pretty untenable and I got a GTFO. And what I didn't realize because of so much going on is that actually two blues got summoned at the same time. So only now am I looking up and realizing that there's a second blue here, so I've got to slow up and try to use some of the PvE. And my Estus delivery is right on time, fortunately, and I'm back up to a full charge. I break his guard. Obviously, I can't do anything about it. That's one of the reasons I just don't go for parries nearly as much when there's multiple players, because a lot of bad things can happen, and even if you do get the parry, a lot of times you can't get the riposte because you got people swinging on you. And here, I'm just hoping he's going to go for the meat grinder weapon art so I can parry him. This is a pretty good position for me here because they can't retreat. Now I see the Herald Knights are involved, but this makes me nervous because these guys can hit me just as easily, and they hit very, very hard. So I'm trying to kind of stay out of the line of fire and not completely successfully. I gotta give the blue credit though, he used that weapon art and he used it appropriately. He didn't use it from neutral, he didn't use it as like a gap closer. This is nice too because now I can sort of like guilt-free wail on this host and gank him with the PvE. That weapon art, by the way, I am not a fan. Maybe there's a good way to use it, but to me it just is a good way to leave you open to backstabs. I definitely would not use the follow-on R2 unless I landed the first part of the weapon art. That's it, guys. Thanks a lot for checking in today. I really appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed the content. Take care now.